Hi Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddStamps.com. Hey Diana, I'm glad you made it today. I hope you're still waiting. I see the comment there. Welcome to my stamp room. So here it is Thursday night. I know it's a different time, but I had my son and his wife and her father over for dinner, so they left about a half hour ago. But I was prepared for tonight, so that's good because I'm not always the most prepared. So we are going to use tonight the project of the month. Let me just talk about that for a minute. All right, so the project of the month this month is the Wild Bunch stamp set. And how that project of the month works is if you place an order of $75 or more in the Stampin' Up website, and it's one order, so you can't like do a bunch of orders and have it add up to that. You will have the opportunity to purchase the product of the month. And this month is the Wild Bunch stamp set, and you can purchase that for $5. So that, oh, everything just went away. I hope I'm still here. Let me pull up my screen again. I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, I'm still there. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'll show you quickly the product of the month. Let me squirt my, there we go. All right, so these images are actually bigger than what I think they look like in the flyer. And that's just how everything works. Hey, Karen, glad you made it. All right, so this is the Wild Bunch stamp set. I made some cards with it today, and I actually used every single stamp except for this one. And I could have, but I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead. But before I do that, I do have a couple cards I want to show. I have to show you this one because I got this one today from a friend of mine. And it's so cute. I don't know. It was a while back that Stampin' Up had this cute popcorn stamp set. I don't think it's available anymore, but I have to show you. She's got one of those little wobbles on my popcorn container here. And what that did is it reminded me that I have some of those, and they would look really cute with this stamp set that I'm using tonight. So I did use one. But that is a cute stamp. Here is this month's tutorial for the month. Uses the All Aflutter stamp set and the Extraordinary something Designer Series paper. I don't remember. Anyway, you place an order with me, you will get the tutorial for these cards. And if your order is over $75 or $50, I will send you the PDF or a packet of supplies to make those cards. The other thing is on the project of the month, if you place an order of $75 in any given month, whether you got the product of the month or not, I send you a PDF of 12 projects that we used or that were made by Demonstrator. So there's 12 of us in a group, and we each make a PDF tutorial. So the projects are all different. We all have different styles. Anyway, this is my project for this month, which I think turned out adorable. It uses that really cute little koala bear in the Wild Bunch stamp set. I don't know if you can see, but the party hat and the presents have a little bit of Wink Estella on them. But you can see this card, I used all of Hydrangea Hue. You know, the embellishments, the ink, the ribbon, the cardstock, the Designer Series paper, and then just the koala, which I actually colored kind of to look like a koala. But tonight's cards are very different. They don't, well, put it this way, I'm gotten a little bit more colorful today. So if you have questions, put them up in the comment box. I can see the comment box while I'm stamping, and I will kind of keep tabs on it just so that I can answer your questions as we go along. I wanted to show you the paper that I'm using tonight. I don't know if I have it all here. Okay, so this is, I told you they were going to be very bright colors. So this is the paper that we're using tonight. And this is the beautiful Ordinary Life 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. I love these colors in here. So the colors, of course, that coordinate, oh, and then the backs. Let me show you the backs. They're all black and white, which I'm going to show you tonight. You can make them any color you want. All right, so this colors that go with this are Basic Black, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Pretty Peacock, Real Red, and Timid Tiger. So lots of colors in this paper. And I'll set that aside for now. All right. The colors that I'm using tonight for my projects are Basic Black, Pool Party, Pumpkin Pie, Delightful, Daffodil Delight, Real Red, and Flirty Flamingo. I'm using the ink color in Pool Party and then also a black ink pad. So let's get started. If you have questions, like I said, pop them up in the chat box and I can help answer them. So tonight's cards, I'm actually using our Stampin' Up! Has a packet of note cards and envelopes, which I'm using because I think these are a really good deal. You get the card bases and the envelopes, 20 in a pack, but you can make these really cute little cards, which came together very fast. But I kind of wanted to show that, how you do it fast. So I took the designer series paper. So these are the card bases and they're already scored and everything. So you just need to fold it. And then I cut my paper. So I cut my designer series paper down to, I'm looking for my adhesive. Do I sound like I'm distracted? I am, because my adhesive was here this afternoon and now it's missing. That's all right, I'll find another one. So anyway, I cut my cardstock. So this base is 3.5 by 5. So I cut these to 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. That is so weird about my adhesive. Oh, there it is. I just moved it to a different table. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some adhesive to this and add this to the front of my card. So you can see, I just cut 1/4 of an inch off so it has a nice little border around it. I like that. And then I had, that's the envelope. I had cut a bunch of these shapes. This is the circle with the stitching in it. I cut a bunch of these for one of my card kits that I put together. I might just put this, I kind of want you to see it, but can you see it? Yeah, good enough. Anyway, I cut a bunch of these, so I have a whole stack of them here. So I just kind of picked up stuff that I had laying around to show tonight. We're going to start with this little snail. And I am going to ink this up with the black ink. And like I said, I'm going to show some techniques on these cards, but I started out super easy. So we have our little snail, and then I need to find, oh, here. Stamp a little heart on there. And then we're going to color them in. And so on this particular snail, I used the Pool Party and the pumpkin pie. And when I color, I actually start with my lighter color first. I'll use the brush end because I can color a lot in a very short amount of time. And basically what I do with my blends is I lay down a base color. Everybody colors with blends a little bit differently. There is no right or wrong way. All right. Oh, I missed you too, Diana. I'm glad that you did catch me tonight. I might have to go back to being on at 7 o'clock. I kind of quit this winter because when it started to get dark, I found myself getting ready for sleep. However, now with summer here, I find myself wanting to be outside and playing. So, all right, so I just did some Pool Party on there, and then I'm going to come in. I think I'll just use, because this isn't a very big caterpillar body, I'm just going to use the light pumpkin pie. I'm sure that's the color. Yep. And color that in. Let's put a little color onto that heart. And then I'm going to add this on with some dimensionals. And you'll probably see me using dimensionals tonight, like using up the edges of a bunch of sheets that I have sitting here. So I do a card class here in Red Lodge one night a month, and I let them use my dimensionals, but anytime there's a sheet that just has edges, I keep those and I like to use them up. I use all of the dimensionals up. All right, and then we're going to make this, I might change this up. I don't think I did, let's see here, what do we got? I'll do a little hi friend. I wanted to use all my stamps, so I'm going to just add in that black a sentiment that just says hi friend, and then I can come in with that heart and add a couple hearts on there. I am going to actually cover that because I'm afraid that I would get black ink all over my card. And then I'm going to come in with my blends and color in those hearts just to make them kind of coordinate with my other card. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do tonight is I found these embellishments. I don't know what they're from. I know that it was a pack. I don't even have the information. I don't think they're available anymore. I don't know. They could be. They're really pearlescent. They're very shiny. Thank you for your comments about my snail. Everything I color tonight is going to be totally not what you would think. So get ready. All right, so I'm going to take my blends, and I liked these embellishments. And I'm going to go ahead and color and change the color up on these. One of the things I like about our light colored embellishments and our blends markers is you can take any embellishment and change it to the color that you need. So that was kind of one of the techniques I wanted to show tonight. Save your embellishments because these are kind of like a little off-white color. But with my blends, I can make them any color that I need. And I actually do them different colors tonight. All right, so there is my first card. This one's a little bit different. This one says sending love. This one is hi friend. Let me show you the envelope I did. So I did a coordinating envelope because it comes with it, and I just used some of that designer series paper. I'm going to show you quickly how I did that. I'm only going to show you one envelope. I'll show you this one because I did them all the same. And if you wanted to, you could actually take your envelope and again stamp the snail on the front and color. The problem would be is that coloring on this light envelope paper would bleed through. So if I were going to do that, I would pop in a scrap piece of cardstock or paper inside there, do the coloring, and then pull that out so that it didn't, because it might bleed all the way through. I don't know. All right, so let me show you how I did this envelope because it is not hard. I do this a lot with my envelopes. So you can see the crease line on this envelope right here. I'm just going to take my adhesive and kind of come down that line, add some to the ends, and then add some to the flap. And then I take my designer series paper and I'm going to line it up so that it's just above that crease. And then push it down. And then I can take a pair of scissors, flip it over, and just go ahead and trim it out. Like this. And there you have it, your envelope that coordinates. And like I said, if you wanted to, I mean, little hearts would be cute up here. Anything. All right, card number 2. We're making 4 cards tonight. This is the second card. And I kind of this one cracked me up because this little koala is my favorite. And you can see on this card where I did the koala to kind of look like a koala, what I would think a koala would look like with the smoky slate and the barely blush, just to give it a little bit more color. But I did put a party hat on him, so there is that. All right, so this one is done with, again, a card base, the same card base. The designer series paper that is cut exactly the same size as the last one. So what did I say? 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So that gives you a nice little border around the edge. All right. I've got another piece here. And I've got this piece. So this die comes from the Scalloped Blooms die. I love this die set. If nothing else, I would recommend people buy the die set because the dies are huge. I mean, look at the size of this one. I used, I believe it's this size die. But I do love this set because it has all these scallops and then all these labels and some leaves. So, and actually these little leaves, you can make these into flowers, which are really cute. So that is the scallop that I used. All right, let me put that away. So set that one aside. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 3/8 punch, circle punch, and I'm going to go ahead and punch this out before I stamp it. And I like how this layers right onto that and makes it kind of look like a flower. So I really like that, and I love that stitching on there. All right, then I'm going to take my little koala bear and some Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp him on this circle, but I actually kind of stamped him off. So you don't need to do the whole bear. You can always just do, you know, a small section. I'll do another heart because that's cute. And then I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is some ways I set up my stamps. Sometimes I have 2 stamps on them. So this has the heart and the party hat. And especially if I'm stamping a lot of stuff, then I can just keep going without having to pull everything off. Or if I don't have enough stamps for each one to be on its own, that's what I do. All right. So this little koala, he is absolutely my favorite. And one of the things I was thinking about today was I have a sister that manages the Build-A-Bear in our 60 miles away down towards Billings. And anytime you go into Build-A-Bear, I'm sure many of you have been, you can color your animals any way you want because Build-A-Bear always has them colored differently. All right, so I'm using Delightful. I don't know, Daffodil Delight. I don't know why I can't seem to say that one tonight. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to lay down a layer of Daffodil Delight. Oh, good. I'm glad that, I hope you get it, Karen. This is like one of the cutest little products of the month that they've had. I love this little koala. And I am so looking forward to seeing the tutorials that everybody did in this group that I'm in because they'll all be so different. So then I'm coming in, I used light first, and now I'm coming in with dark. And I'm just adding some color in, just to add a little shading, just to give him a little bit of depth. I'm going to color his nose. And then once I've done that, I'm going to come back in with the light, and I'm just going to kind of blend out so I don't have any really harsh lines in that shading. Don't make your blends harder than they have to be. I mean, really, they don't have to be real difficult. And then I'm going to come in with a little Flirty Flamingo. Give some color to his ears. And the party hat. And again, I'm going to come in with the darker and just add a little dimension to that. And we're going to blend out this line a little bit. Looks good. Super easy. All right. I think he looks good. I'm going to take this little koala bear, flip him over. You can see what I talk about when I say bleeding. So that happens on the back sides of stuff. So that would happen to your envelope. We're going to attach it with a dimensional right into the middle of this flower. And then we're going to attach this to the card base. These would be a fun set of cards to give to a little kid for their birthday. We'll make this one a birthday card because it's cute. And it's got a party hat. So again, I'm just using the black Memento, calling it good. And then here's my envelope. As you can see, I did the flap. And then I'm going to take those embellishments. And I could use either pink or yellow. I'm going to stick with yellow. I really liked how the daffodil yellow colored on here. It just showed up really well. I always do odd numbers of embellishments. So I'm always usually 3, but I don't know why. It's just one of those things. So once I've done that, they don't take very long to dry because these are alcohol markers on these, and so it doesn't take very long. And then once they're dry, I can just peel them off. Oops, I think I missed the adhesive. And then add them to my card. But just adds it to it. So really cute. And here's the envelope. Little koala bear. All right. This is the one that was making me laugh today. So this is the one that I put the spring on. It's so funny. It really is funny. All right, so on that one, I was going to cut this out beforehand, but that's all right. Here's the envelope that goes with this card. We'll lay that one up there. This is the wobble. Is that what they're called? Anyway, I bought these a long time ago, and there they sat. All right, so again, we're using a card base. We're using the same size paper, so 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. We'll add that to my base. We're using a stitched scallop from Stitched Shapes. And that one is actually going to get just placed on here. We're going to use just a note, just a little note in the black ink. Stamp that one. Again, like I said, I was going to cut this out and color it, but I decided not to. So you're going to have to watch me color. But the colors that I used on this particular one was Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, and Daffodil Delight. Those are the colors that I used. And I actually pulled the colors directly from this cardstock, from this piece. I know this is different. This has a little bit different colors in it, but it's still going to work. So how I started this one was I took my light pumpkin pie and I filled in this tuft of hair. It came down his face. I don't like to do, I don't want to color the whole Highland cow. Highland cows are really big right now, by the way. Because I want this to get a pretty good blend. So I'm coming in now with the dark pumpkin pie. And to make it look like it's hair, I'm just going to flick. I'm going to flick some color on there. So it kind of looks like hair strands. And then I'm going to come in with red. I'm going to do the same flicking motion. And it just makes his tuft of hair look like hair. And then if you want to, you can always come back in with the lighter and just do a few more up here. One of the things that happens when you layer, I'll bring it up close so you can see it. All right, so right here, so you can see the different, you can do a layer of light, layer of dark orange, a layer of red, and then I flicked in some more of the light, and it just gives that just a little bit more color. So you can do a lot of different things with it. All right, so then I'm going to come in with my yellow. We'll just make his horns yellow. And again, when I was doing this, I'm thinking about Build-A-Bear, because I can guarantee you, I think I'll make those little hairs yellow, that a Highland cow does not look like this in these colors, but these animals are so much fun that they can be colored anyway. So a little bit of pumpkin. Then I'm going to come in with a dark pumpkin. And we'll do his ears. I just love these colors together. I thought they were so pretty. And then his nose and his snout. Just before I came on live, I was watching another demonstrator. And she took one of these little animals and she stamped it. She did it with a koala. So she stamped, pretend like the hat's not there. She stamped the koala twice. She colored it. On one of them, she cut out the ears and the nose. And then she added them. So she cut off, so like, you know, it went across here. But it just gave it dimension. So she tacked the body of the head and the body of the koala onto the extra ears that she cut off, and then she used a little dimensional and did the nose. It was so cute that, I mean, I'm not talking, it just happened like just before I got started. So I didn't have time to make up another card. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to get online, but I'm here. All right. I just added another layer of that light pumpkin because I wanted it to be just a little bit darker. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in, make his tail a little bit more. There we go. All right, so once I've done that, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and I'm just going to trim him out. I'm not usually a fussy cutter, but I don't really mind it anymore. And these are pretty easy to cut out. But I wanted to show a couple different ways. So I wanted to show, you know, where they're stamped on a label or stamped on an envelope, and then also when they're fussy cut out. So I was thinking about this layer that this gal just did, and this would be a cute one to do because you would have his horns and his ears, and then cut out the tuft of hair to make another one, but you could have it totally, I might try it when I'm done tonight. If I do, I will post it on my website and share it with you on Facebook. I might even share it in my newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter already, you might want to, because I do send out lots of information about what's going on with Stampin' Up and what's going on with me and ideas and projects. All right. Now we'll get this side done. So I have my little cow. So cute. Yep, still pretty cute. All right, so this little wobble thing on these, I don't even know where I got these. They have been around my house for forever. So I took off the back and I'm going to stick this onto his head like that. And then on this one, it has a couple of adhesive strips. There we go. Like that. And then this gets placed on my card like that. And then you have a little wobble. So kind of fun. Kids would love that. And then on this one, I took those embellishments and I used the Real Red Dark. I used all the colors that I used on the cow. So Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, and Delightful, Daffodil Delight. I don't know why I cannot seem to remember Daffodil Delight. But like I said, you can add color to them. They dry almost immediately because it's alcohol. And then, oops, add them to my card base. It just kind of pulls it all together. I will say I like this one better because of the colors in the paper. But they come from the same designer series paper, so cute card. All right, last one. We're using a few more products. So here's the card I'm going to make. Here's the envelope that I meant to match it. I'm using the card base, same card base. I'm using a piece of the designer series paper. I'm also using a scallop, and I cut him out already. And then I need circle punch. I'll cut that out. All right, so to get this one started, I used the black and white side of the paper. I like this one too, but I used this side because I wanted to show you how you can alter it. So I am taking Pool Party and a blending brush, and I'm going to pick up ink on my blending brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and add it to this piece of Designer Series paper. And you can go as thick or as thin as you want. I can tell that my Pool Party ink pad can probably use a good re-inking. But I didn't really want to do it before I started this because then I would have it be too blotchy. And this is like the dry, this is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted it to change the color from black and white to black and Pool Party. So I've got that. Flip this over, add it to my cardstock. And then here's where you can really see that Pool Party come through. So I just changed that up. Then I'm going to take this piece, the circle punch, and this checked stamp. And go ahead and just add these. And because it's photopolymer, I can kind of guess, line it up where I want it. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's very, because the way the lines are drawn, it's very forgiving. So I did that. And then I attached this with the adhesive right onto that Pool Party scallop flower. And this is going to get added on to the front of my cardstock. So you can see where I'm going monochromatic with Pool Party stuff. And then I'm going to take this little penguin, and this time I'm going to use black. This is probably the easiest one to color because you don't have to use a lot of color. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do his little wings, this back here. And then we'll take a little pumpkin pie for his beak. And I don't know if they have orange feet, but mine's going to. And then I'm going to come in with Pool Party and do the party hat. So there's that. And then I'm going to take the darker Pool Party just to give this a little bit more texture. I'm going to add some to the top, just, you know, like dots of it. And then in the party hat, I'm actually going to go diagonal, just to give the hat a little bit of something. And it actually is going to blend out. So as it dries, it might blend in a little more, but it does give it some texture. Okay, once I've done that, flip it over, add a couple of dimensionals. This would have been a cute one too, with one of those things that, oh wait, I'm gonna put that up higher. I actually took the happy birthday stamp. I'm looking to see what else I have. We'll do birthday. Black ink. Stamp that across the bottom. Cute. And then I am going to take my embellishments and the orange pumpkin pie and make some coordinated embellishments to add to my card. I think I need a little present. And then I'm going to take this and the black, stamp that down. This one I did in Pool Party. I'm going to do this one in, why not? Let's do it in orange. So we'll do a little stripe. And you'll notice when I color that, I don't really have to color in every line. These are really sketched drawings. So having white space is okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now trim out the present. And we're going to add that. I used up those dimensionals. Let's find another partial sheet here. Here we go. And add my little present. Oh, I like it in orange. Tell me, which one do you like better? Do you like the orange present or the pool party? I like the orange. It just adds more to it. Anyway, quick and easy cards tonight. You could easily make a bunch of these in a very short amount of time. Let me pull the other ones out so we can, and then tell me which one's your favorite. All right, so we have the koala bear with the envelope. We have the penguin. I'm going to put that one because that one in. The orange one is my favorite. We have the snail with an envelope. And we have the cow with an envelope. All right, those are the cards for tonight. Can you tell me which one's your favorite? Don't have very much longer, but anyway. All right, if you haven't already, you might want to get this Wild Bunch. It's pretty darn cute. And product of the month is only available till they're gone. So I don't know. We never know. We never know how long it's going to take. Some things are very popular. This one was pretty popular. So, all right. Oh, Linda likes the bear with the striped cardstock. Yeah, the koala bear with the striped side. The koala bear is my favorite. He's cute. But the Highland cow is like right up there. So anyway, thanks, Karen. Karen likes a koala, but she likes them all. Okay, I'm going to put pictures of these up on my I'll put them on Facebook and I'll put them on my blog. And I'll even put up I love the snail cards. I just like these little note cards. I think these are fun and a fun way to Good answer, Diana. It's too hard for her to choose. Anyway, I'll put this up on my blog. I'll put it up on Facebook and I'll put the measurements and what I used so that you'll have a list of that. All right, everybody, thanks for coming tonight. I will not be live next week because I have a live class here in Red Lodge. And then we go into 4th of July, which I'm going to tell you, 4th of July around Red Lodge is like Christmas. They call it Cowboy Christmas because of the rodeos. But I have more family coming in. And so the first 2 weeks of July, you probably won't hear from me or see me for a while, those first 2 weeks, but I'll be back. Anyway, take care. Have a good night. And thanks for coming. Bye-bye.